June 15th, 1215. A king pressed his seal onto a document. He hated every word of it, but he had no choice. And in that moment, the world changed. One document, 63 clauses, 800 years of democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, all trace back to this meadow. King John of England was the most hated monarch his kingdom had ever produced. He taxed his nobles into bankruptcy. He imprisoned men without trial. He seized land on a whim. He answered to no one. Ordinary English people paid the price. Brutal taxes stripped families of everything. Men were imprisoned without charge. Women widowed by arbitrary royal justice. England was suffocating. Even the powerful barons were not safe. John imprisoned nobles without trial, seized their castles, took their sons as hostages. Fear ruled England from the throne. By 1215, the barons had enough. They formed an alliance. 40 barons, hundreds of knights, an army that could take London itself. They called themselves the Army of God. They marched on London. The city opened its gates. London had chosen sides against its own king. John was running out of options and running out of time. Archbishop Stephen Langton was the unlikely hero of this story. He had secretly helped draft the barons' demands. Now he stood between an army and a king and proposed a meeting. June 10th, 1215. Both sides arrived at Runnymede, a meadow beside the Thames, between Windsor and London. The barons' army on one side, the king's court on the other, the river between them. A neutral tent was erected in the meadow, between the two camps. Inside it, 40 barons faced their king. The most important negotiation in English history was about to begin. The barons presented their demands. The king, humiliated, surrounded, with no army capable of winning, listened. For the first time in English history, a king was being told, "These are your limits." For 5 days they negotiated. John stalled, argued, demanded changes, but the army surrounding him never left. Every morning he woke to the sound of the baronial army, and every morning he had fewer options. 63 clauses. No taxation without consent. No imprisonment without trial. The right to justice. The king must obey the law. Revolutionary ideas written in Latin on sheepskin parchment. June 15th, 1215. John agreed. The Magna Carta was ready. The barons stood in their armour and watched their king surrender, not his throne, but his unlimited power. The signing ceremony was held in the meadow itself, in the open air, with both armies watching. No secrets, no private deals. The most public act of constrained power in history. Archbishop Langton took the sealed document. He walked across the meadow and handed it to the barons. It was done. A king had been made accountable. For the first time ever. John was furious. The moment the barons left Runnymede, he wrote to the Pope asking him to annul the Magna Carta. He hired foreign mercenaries. He was planning to take it all back, by force. John's betrayal triggered the First Barons' War. England erupted in civil conflict. John died in 1216, still fighting his own barons. He never accepted the Magna Carta as legitimate. But the Magna Carta survived John. When his 9-year-old son Henry became king, his regents reissued the Magna Carta immediately. It became the foundation of English law, and it never went away. The Magna Carta became the foundation of everything: English common law, Parliament, the American Bill of Rights, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. One document in a meadow, still shaping the world today. 40 barons, one meadow, one document. The idea that power has limits, that no one is above the law, is the most important idea in human history. And it started here. Next, on EpochFire, the treaty that ended 30 years of war, the document that invented the modern world.